Alright guys, this is the first segment TV shows. In this segment I want to talk about heart-touching TV shows. Shows that really teaches you about life and how to live with it. Like how to maintain it. First thing first, the first TV show that I've seen was Have to Be 13's Life. It's a really good show. I don't want to go into detail about the show. Just know that, it's really going to touch you. Like, it's really going to make you feel a certain way when you watch the show. But I highly prefer you watch the show with an adult. Or even if you're an adult, just watch it with friends and stuff like that. It's a show about a girl who takes her own life. And everyone around her has to, grieve with the idea of it. It's just it just goes down a really dark path. But that show really teaches you a thing or two about taking things for granted and what you say. Like people always say, words don't hurt people. It does, and that show really shows that. Your actions towards someone could actually lead them down that road. So, yeah. You know what? Let's not do all this segments. It's just Blaine vlogs this crap. It's just that, the things you do is really going to affect everyone around you. The things you say is something that someone's going to remember. It's just that everything you do reflects on your character, and you really need to think about what you do every day. Remember, a while back, I was on Blaine's podcast. We had a conversation about life and stuff like that. And I gave out a little bit too much detail than I was supposed to. And he did too. Of course, on his show you can sort out many things you want. It's like a safe zone and no one can judge you. I didn't really want to talk about Blaine on this in these podcasts because I don't want people thinking that he does the podcast. He he mentions Isaac a couple times and he mentions Isaac a couple times and he moves on to a different topic because he has his own life. He always he does what he does. It's his life to maintain, and I just don't want people thinking that I'm the only person there for him because he has everybody in his life living, even people that he's not good friends with, they care about him and stuff like that. And I didn't want to mention that much because I didn't want people thinking he's my world and no homo, he's everything that I care about. In my podcast, I just want to focus on other people because that's what I did on my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I focused so much on him to the point where it's just a fan-based channel for Blaine's vlogs. And in this podcast, I just wanted everything, focused on everyone. From the friends that I haven't seen in years to friends that I have now, which barely, surprisingly, now that I look back on it, I barely have friends now. I recently started talking to a new friend. I don't want to say her name because I don't know if she wants my name to be on this podcast. But I've been talking to her. She's a really nice girl, and we have really good conversations and stuff like that. She tells me about what goes on in her day, and I tell her a little bit about mine, but I don't want to go into detail because face is just me sitting in front of a video game screen all day. and she has this like interesting life. She does what she does and stuff like that. And I try to get David in on the podcast. It's just that David, he just recording with him is like trying to record with someone that is just like new to everything. And I want to record more with him, hopefully in the future. But hopefully when he's in the mood, we can have conversations about, life and, everything we do. My friend Tristan, he's... Alright, let me go into detail. I never really talk about this. If you guys may remember in some Blaine's podcasts, he mentioned... In one Blaine's podcast, he mentions a story about how he met me. Alright, my side story. Okay. When I met Blaine Vlogs, let's call him Blaine. When I met Blaine, okay, it was in 8th grade. They always say it's in 9th grade, but it was in 8th grade when I met them. When I met him and Tristan. I met Tristan first. But, yeah, let's just go on how I met Tristan. I met Tristan in 8th grade. We had math class together. I had to sit next to him, and I didn't really like him at first because he was kind of weird. He had braces, and he was blonde, and he looks like Anthony Michael Hall. Just take a guess how that looks. And I didn't really like him that much. And then later on, I met Blaine, and as I said earlier about the show 13 Reasons Why, it was just Blaine looked like the main character in a show named Clay Jensen, and he reminded me of him. And I just felt like that was a calling that I needed to talk to him. Because you may know Clay Jensen goes through a lot in that TV show, and I just felt like I just needed to talk to him. Getting to know him and stuff like that. And I started talking to him. He told me about his YouTube channel called Blaine Vlogs. I told him about my YouTube channel at the time, which is deleted now. It was called Isaac the Greatest Silverboy Production. And we had a really good conversation. And we didn't really talk that much after that. And over the summer, I looked up his channel and I started watching a few of his videos. And, if you watch his YouTube channel, you get what I felt after that. And when I came home, when we came back to school, I got like every classes with Blaine and Tristan. Freshman year, like every class. I met, and then we also had resources classes together all the time. And so they started talking to me, and I started having conversations with them about, I started talking to Blaine about his YouTube channel, and then Tristan joined in on conversations, and eventually we just became a trio. They started like every day, after every class, they would always follow me to the next class because they could never figure out where the classrooms were. Until eventually they started following me just because we were friends and stuff like that, having conversations. And I'm happy for that. And then we became friends for a while, and then me and Blaine started having a feud on YouTube where, it started as a joke at first, and then started turning into a feud. Like, it started as a joke that I made a video where I react to one of his videos and just crapped all over his video, just made fun of it just for fun. I told him before I released the video that it was just for fun, and he said okay. And he made a reaction video back, same result as how mine went, and I was like, yeah, that's really funny. And then I made one about his Instagram, and trust me guys, Blaine's Instagram, he's really sensitive about it. And I made one of his Instagram video. I made an Instagram video about him, and I didn't tell him about it. I just uploaded it, and he saw the video. He reacted to it, and he just crapped all over it. He just he was furious in that video. I wish he still had it up, just to see how bad I made him mad. And he started talking about how, I was a disrespectful cousin, how I was really horrible and stuff like that. And frankly, it kind of pissed me off to the point where we started having anger text messages back and forth all night. I took down my video, and then after a while he took his down, and then we were still mad at each other for a while. And then it got back to the point where I told him, fuck you, and we ain't friends no more like that. And he was like, fine, sure, why not? And we didn't talk for a while. And so over time, when I started hanging out with Tabby a lot, and Tabby's my cousin, by the way, and Tristan started hanging out with us, and Blaine started hanging out with us. And then Blaine told me, said, look, I'm not going to apologize for what I said in that video, because you deserved it. But do you want to be friends or not? And I don't know what it was. It's just that something chilled my spine, and just in my head it kept telling me yes, but I just wanted to say no really badly. But I just said yes. And then we became friends after that. And I didn't mind for a while. And then Blaine started going down a dark path in his life where he got schizophrenia, depression, and just everything wrong with him, as he always talked about. And they just went down a dark path, and I was always there just cheering him up, tried my best. And then he moved in with his aunt, not his aunt, his sister. I don't know why I said aunt. He moved in with his sister, and he started getting better, and I was really happy for him. But at the same time, we just started growing distance from each other, and I don't want to say that's bad, because I feel like it's okay. I'm just happy he's doing other things besides just arguing with me and being depressed all the time. I'm just happy to see him do other stuff. He was doing other stuff before, I'm not gonna lie. He was doing other stuff before. But I was just happy to see him move on with his life and stuff like that. And I don't mind. It's just that, I know over senior year, it's just going to keep getting more distance to the point when we graduate, we'll be just total strangers. And I don't mind that. The other day, he asked me to come to his house, and I just told him, hit me up when you can. And he hasn't yet. And frankly, I just kept telling myself, I don't care. I don't really care. If he wants me to come over, I'll come over and hang out with him. I don't mind. Just that, I'm just really happy for him. I'm happy that he's going out to a different route in his life. And he's, a matter of fact, he's actually having a basketball game in a couple of weeks, I think. June 1st at Graysville Community Center here in Alabama. And he has a team, and they're playing. I'm going to go watch, of course, opportunity to get out of the house. And I'll definitely go watch and just see him play. Probably my cousin Tabby's probably going to come with me too. But yeah. I'm happy for him. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I forgot that time we're on podcast. He invited me to come to his podcast. It started, see what happened is that he invited me to come to his new house a lot. And I just told him, just ask your mom and I'll come over. Just ask your mom and I'll come over. He'd be like, well, your mom's got to talk to my mom. And I'm like, see what I can do there. But one day we was doing ACT tests and stuff like that, and I didn't know I didn't know that you had to get a ride home. I didn't know that. So I didn't know you had to get a ride home after that. I thought we was gonna have, like, someone watch us. And so it's like, well, crap. And then Blaine told me he was just gonna get his mom to come get him. I was like, alright, cool. I'll just wait here and just like walk around the building until someone eventually, my bus eventually come and gets me. And then he sat in front of the school for a while until his mom showed up, and he was about to leave. And then he told me, my mom said she can take you home. And I was like, alright, cool. Because I don't want to be stuck at school, in an empty school. We got in the car, we drove there, we got pulled over by cops, and then Blaine and the cops started having a conversation about, like, why does birds have beak? It was stupid. And stupid conversation. And she took me home. I got out. I walked in. Told my mom, it's like, wait, no. Get in the car. Blaine asked his mom if I could come over one day, and she said, yeah. And we was like, hell yeah, yeah. And I went in my house, and my mom was just all like, what the hell are you doing home early? I said, like, I didn't know that you had to, that they wouldn't count abstain, just had to be there and do the tests and leave. And she said, like, well, how'd you get home? And I was gonna start up, be smart and be like, oh, I walked. But no, I told her that Blaine's mom took me home, and she was furious about it. But she wasn't furious that Blaine's mom brought me home. She was furious that the school didn't know I left. And a couple of days later, Blaine invited me over to do a podcast, and he told me, you can just ride with me home after school. And I was like, alright, bet. So I rode home with him, and I rode home to his house, and I rode to his house, and we went in, we recorded that podcast, and I left. We went in and recorded that podcast. We worked together to make the new Stay Motivated symbol, which, I told him, just don't give me any credit for it. It was a team effort on that one. And he said, yeah, sure, thank you. And so we left. I left, and I went back about a few days later. I hung out with him and his friend Sam, and then we went to Sam's house to put up LED lights. And I went home, and that's the last time I've ever been over there. Not that I ever want to, but yeah, I see that he's living a really good life right now. But yeah. Much. I don't really know what to do from here. I can go on for like another, 20 minutes talking about someone, but Alright, I think we'll end the podcast here. I don't know what to talk about. I guess on the final note, I just want to say, Blaine, if you're listening to this, probably not. I love you, man. I'm happy that you're living your life right now, and I hope you have a really good future ahead of you. And yeah, love you, man. And hopefully I'll see you at school next year. Bye bye. See you in the next episode, guys.